every generation two Prose are born. Chosen to watch every episode of Buffy and tell you what they think about them. This is the Prose Visit Sunnydale. Season 2.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Prose Bros Visit Sunnydale. I am Geoff.
And I'm Eddie Cruz.
And today we are doing Season 2, Episode 17, Passions.
The awesome daytime soap opera my mom likes.
It was.
Yeah.
Right after The Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Passions.
My
It's
sister
awesome.
used to love that.
Both
of them.
I remember I had somebody describe what that show was about, and they told me something about a doll that was alive.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, that show was messed up, I think. Anyway, this is not that show. This is Buffy.
Yeah. So what'd you think about this episode, Eddie? Did you like it?
I liked it. It was a good episode. I didn't really remember this episode as well as the other episodes or the last episode. Yeah, I remember the narration because I remember there was a couple episodes with narration. There's this one with Angel's narration, and then there's the Whistler episode, which I thought was this episode when we were talking about it last episode. Because the Whistler episode, which is going to happen later this season, is narrated by Whistler.
So do you want to say who Whistler is? Just as maybe a reminder to me.
He is a hobo that helped Angel stop being a hobo.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. He is I guess, I don't know, kind of like a player or like a...
He's like a guy to put Angel on the right path.
On the right path from the god or whatever, what they always call him, the powers that be on the Angel show. They kind of they wrote that all the way back there and said, everybody has a path and you are special. You are going to either save or destroy the world, and we need to put you on the right path for your destiny or whatever.
Oh, shit. We shouldn't have gone down this rabbit hole because there's so much I want to say about that right now.
Yeah.
But that wasn't this episode.
So
apparently not.
Yeah. So going back to this episode has narration, which Jeff didn't remember, but I remembered that. And the narration actually opens up the episode, and it's kind of cool because you don't know which angel is narrating the episode.
I didn't like it, and several reasons.
You don't
right
like narration? It's bad storytelling right off the bat? Narration is bad storytelling. That's what all the books say, right?
No, but it's more like a bookend. It starts and ends it, but it's not narrated throughout the entire thing. So it starts it and drops it.
All right.
I never liked that about movies, and I don't like David Boreanaz's voice.
Yeah, he's not a good reader.
Because he doesn't know how.
He doesn't know how to read. I just think, it's an artsy thing to do because the episode's called Passion. Everything that he's narrating about or talking about at the beginning and the end of the episode is related to passion. However, it doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah, they could have done without that narration.
And that's the biggest thing about why incorporate narration is usually it's necessary to include it because the storytelling's bad, but this episode's great.
And can I say this? If they're going to have somebody narrate anything, it should always be Giles.
Yeah, absolutely.
He has the best voice for it.
I mean, he has the only voice that sounds like a true narrator, like a good narrator. Yeah. So it starts with Angel's narration of Passion, right? And he's talking about stuff as the Scoobies go see a movie. Kind of a weird kind of thing. You see a Scooby outing, a rare Scooby outing. They usually go to the Bronze, but they're switching it up, I guess.
Yeah, and add another location to Sunnydale.
There you go. They have a movie theater.
They do. And they're all getting along. Willow's there with Buffy. They even invited Cordelia, which, is awesome for her, I guess.
Yeah, and so they end up watching this movie, and as they're leaving, you see a couple making out, and the girl who's making out with the guy falls to reveal Angel having sucked her dry and follows the Scoobies. He turns from a vampire back into a human, and gives you the set of basically he's been stalking them, all of them, this whole time.
He still manages to throw some kills in there. Which,
So, yeah.
You know, it's like his side job is killing and stalking's his main job, but
Yeah.
he still manages time.
Comes
for
out
both.
strong.
Yeah.
He's killed a lot of people since he's turned evil.
The most since he lost his soul.
Wow, more than anybody? More than Buffy?
Yes.
Oh,
Buffy
wow.
hasn't really been killing.
Not even vampires?
She's killed some, but Angels killed the most.
Did you hear how I said that? Not even vampires? Sorry. Some, but angels killed the most.
Yeah.
Okay, right on. Buffy gets home from the movies, and she's kind of like spooked out because she hears something in the bushes or whatever, and she feels like she's like, I always feel like somebody's watching me.
Or we can go back to our Sting
There you
references.
go, right? Yeah, right?
I'm gonna let's save that for Spike.
I'm always watching you. Anyway, so she goes to sleep, and when she wakes up, there's an envelope there. She opens the envelope, actually just a piece of paper, and it's a beautiful drawing of her as she slept. Because Angel has read how to draw on the right side of your brain or whatever.
Yeah, question about that. Like, has it been established that he is good at drawing portraits?
I think that what they're trying to establish is after 250 years, you better be good at everything. Like, you should be Groundhog Day Bill Murray.
Like the Highlander or something?
Yeah,
But,
like
no,
seriously, like just
Bill
like,
Murray's a good
look,
one.
you've lived so long that you're good at everything everybody else like thinks is a talent.
So this is what's fucked up about that. It's never been established that he can do that when he has a soul, right? Mm-hmm. So he loses his soul, and all of a sudden he's drawing. So he may have had that ability the entire time, but no inspiration. So his inspiration is what? Losing his soul? And if he's always just brooding all the time, why doesn't he take up a hobby? Why doesn't he draw more? It just seems fucked up to me that somebody with the soul isn't doing art and somebody soulless is doing these amazing
Well, I guess there's a lot of
portraits.
different arguments you could make as to why he learned to draw portraits. Today, it would be he needs a hobby, but back then it would be I want to recreate maybe a killing I've done or something because there are no pictures, there are no cameras.
It's only faces while people are sleeping.
Well,
right?
in this episode, but it might be like he has a whole collection of his disembowelments or something like that in a
he
drawer.
has literal dick pics that he draws.
He's got
and
tons, and he just mailed them to all the women he was with.
old school porn.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got that. He was the actual original drawer in Ziggy. Sorry.
It's just I don't know. It's just a weird idea that they throw in. And
I can get behind it because it works out later on too. Like in Angel, he starts drawing more, and yeah, maybe like it could be considered a hobby, but mostly I don't think there's going to be anything that satiates his need for blood.
bloodlust.
There you go.
Do
right?
you think Buffy was like, I didn't know you could draw this well?
I think that everybody should have been that way. Like that was a really, really nice charcoal drawing. So the Scoobies have a meeting, and they're like, "Holy shit, he was in your room!" And they're like, "Oh my god, well, he shouldn't be allowed in your room." And she's like, "Well, I invited him." And they're like, "Well, maybe we can find a spell that can undo you inviting him in and recreate his, I guess a barrier, the whatever fortress barrier that surrounds.
This is in
every
the
place."
library, right?
Yeah, they're in the
this
library.
Is the same
so
scene with
then
Xander.
Jonathan walks in with a co-student, another student.
Co-student works.
Jonathan walks in with another student, and they're like, "Hi," and Xander flips out on them like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
Everyone's caught off guard.
Yeah, and they're like, "Hey, we're here for a book." And he's like, "What do you think this is, a Barnes and Noble?"
I love
And,
that line.
Yeah, and Giles is like, "Hey, this is a school library. Calm the fuck down."
Well, it makes sense because you get so far into the series, and there's no students that ever go in. So when it does happen, you're taken back by it. And
Yeah.
I guess Xander is too.
It's pretty good. I thought that was a good delivery, good joke, a good way to actually get us to stop saying like, "Hey, why doesn't any student ever come into the library?"
Yeah, because they're, at this point, poking fun at themselves.
And also at this point, that library would be full of computers and not Tandies and Apple IIs. Like,
You think not yet, though.
I think
There'd
at
be
that point,
some computers, but not...
even my middle school, which was like...
Well, we went to the same middle school.
Yeah. Even we had like 12 computers in our library.
But they were in the back, and it wasn't like... 12?
Yeah, they were amongst the encyclopedias. And then we also had 2 computer labs on top of that. At Moorhead.
I never had any computer classes in middle school.
I did. I had 2.
Really?
Yeah. In 2 different classrooms.
I got gypped.
Yeah, you went to the other side of the school.
That side of the school was cool.
It's funny because I've given that school shit for like separating Mexicans and giving them one like sex ed class, but then I was like, no, we had tons of computers, and why weren't you there?
See, you got a different sex ed class, and you got computers, and I didn't.
Yeah, there you go. So at the end of the conversation with Giles and Buffy, essentially Giles's takeaway is just ignore him and maybe he'll go away.
Well, that's Buffy's
version of it, but if you really think about what Giles is saying, like he's saying like, oh, it's just a war tactic and he's trying to keep you off your game and he's trying to manipulate you. And so she's like, what you're saying is, just ignore him and maybe he'll go away. And he's like, essentially, yes.
I thought he was trying... I didn't see it that way, but after she said that, I was like, okay. I thought he was trying to make her feel better.
Well, I don't think about feel better. I think he's right about the tactic thing, like kind of throw her off her game, make her feel like she's never safe. But the biggest question is...
But, I mean, comfort with knowledge. If that makes any sense. Like, he's like, okay, I understand what's going on. This is what he's doing. I'll let you know so you understand.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, the biggest takeaway, in my opinion, the biggest question is why didn't Angel just kill her right then? Like, I get it. He's trying to manipulate her and then kill Joyce in the other room. He has so many opportunities to be the evil, horrible person that he wants to be and doesn't take any of them, just in the same way that she doesn't.
Well, I have an argument for that. He wants to make her suffer because he was truly a human or was so in touch with this humanity when he was with her and felt this love for her that because of that, he wants her to suffer so much. He doesn't want to sneak into a room and kill her. He wants to take everything she loves away from her, and then maybe he will kill her.
Yeah, he's pretty fucked up. So they cut back to Willow walking to class and Jenny Calendar coming up and being like, hey, what's up? I'm a really irresponsible person. You want to teach my class for me for the first 15 minutes of class? And Willow's like, yeah, sure. You need to go, I don't know, whatever, like go do some drugs and chill out. I'll teach your class until you get back.
This was the first moment of the episode where I was like, where the fuck is Snyder? Like, what? If he came in and Willow was teaching, he'd be okay with that?
Uh-huh.
Like, Snyder needed to be in this episode, but I think he would have fucked too much shit up.
Yeah. And I think that it's very convenient to not have him around for this whole, like, end of the season.
I wonder what he does when he's not around, when he's not seeing students teach teachers' classes.
I mean, the argument could be made that he's hanging with the mayor right now, and the mayor is maybe like trying to influence him to turn, everything around, because you hit season 3 and something has been going on for a while.
Good point. I like that. I can get behind that.
So you can say that. Like maybe not like in an evil way, but just like going to lunch with the mayor to get in the mayor's pocket kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you could say that. But yeah, it would be helpful to have him around to make sure that his teachers aren't getting the students to teach their classes. And I get it. Jenny Calendar is not really like a teacher, but she's getting paid for it. And I went to public school, and if you're not there to teach me, then fuck you.
You're pretty much pissed at Jenny Calendar for robbing the Sunnydale students of an education?
Yeah. Yeah. So after Jenny asks Willow to teach her class, she ends up running into Giles. And she ends up helping, right? She gives him a book, and she's like, yeah, maybe I can help with this whole, like, I don't know, making Buffy's house safe again.
Well, she said she'd already been studying it, right?
Yeah, she's like, I've been studying this whole time. And she's like, I'm really, really sorry about the way I've been acting. And she drops the L-bomb. She's like, I fucking love you. I want little Giles all up inside of me.
Little Ripper.
Little Ripper. She wants, because Giles has named his penis Little Ripper at this point. And she's like, I want this. And Giles is all like, no, you can't talk to me about this. You need to talk to Buffy. You need to get good with her. If you're good with her, you're good with me.
If she gives you the thumbs up, then
it's
Little
just
Ripper's
like that
good to go.
Spice Girls song says. If you want to be my lover, you got to get with my friends. Yeah.
Well put. Yeah.
So,
because he's British, right?
Yeah. So meanwhile, it cuts back to Buffy, and Buffy's telling her mom about this college boy that she was dating and how he turned into an asshole. And Buffy's mom is cool as shit at this point.
I fucking love that, though. The college boy that was tutoring her.
Yeah. She's like, right? She's like, well, we were kind of seeing each other, and he kind of like went insane. And like Buffy's mom doesn't even like connect the dots of like, oh, I had you when I was young, apparently, because she's so young. But
she looks pretty young.
She can't really understand that her daughter might be sexually active. There's not even like an inkling in her brain.
And that's just super weird in general. And I know we've harped on Joyce for being a bad mother, but she kind of is. And in that moment in particular, she's like, oh, the college boy who was tutoring you, and she just left them alone. Maybe she should have been more concerned. That's her problem.
She should have been more concerned, and her daughter's coming to her and like beating around the bush, but she should grasp the fact that she's saying this guy is acting crazy. The last episode, she got a fucking thing of flowers that said soon on it with an exclamation point. Put one and one together. Come on. I'm not asking you to be Mother of the Year here. Just, have some more common fucking sense, Joyce.
Joyce has a worse memory than I do.
Yeah, and you have a horrible memory.
It's like, Mom, remember the flowers, the roses with the Sue note? She's like, nope, don't remember. Don't recall that at all.
Yeah. So you cut to Willow in her room, and she gets an envelope, and she's on the phone with Buffy, and she opens the envelope, and it's a string. She pulls the string up, and she's standing in front of her fish tank, which is a really good
aquarium,
scene.
yeah.
And she just starts pulling one fish after the other on a string out of this envelope, and just cut to Buffy's bed, and Willow saying, "Thank you very much for letting me stay with you."
Which is fucking awesome, and I love that. And it's already been established that Angel has been in Willow's room. Mm-hmm. But the funniest thing about this is that they're fish. It just seems less harsh than a puppy or any other sort of animal.
Yeah. Anything that doesn't have eyebrows can be killed without feeling.
I kind of wish it would have been if, I don't know, maybe Willow had a cat or a dog. And do you think that would be too brutal for the WB at the time?
It's like pushing the envelope, and when you have to maybe put that in there in order to get something else through, but I don't think it'd really be necessary. This gets the point across, and also it's easier to do all around.
And she does make that comment.
Cheaper.
Thank God I didn't have a puppy
or something like that. Yeah.
It just seems like, I don't know, if I had an aquarium and a bunch of fish and somebody killed all my fish, I feel like I'd be like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
They don't feel like real pets to me.
I remember when they died and my mom vacuumed them up. Like, okay, I remember when they died. I should start this with a different point in my life. When I was a child, I had a bunch of fish. And we pulled them out of the tank to clean the tank, but we changed the actual temperature of the water. And so we put them back in. They actually all passed away. God rest their souls. So my mom,
they have souls.
So my mom used a shop vac to actually, can be going wet and not, and just sucked them out of there.
I'm going to say fish are like Angel. None of them have souls.
There you go. So when Willow is staying with Buffy, she brings up this really, really good point, which is Buffy says, like, I loved him and I was all that he thought about when he was alive. And Buffy goes, she's like, everything's changed now. And then Willow goes, yeah, well, everything's changed except for the fact that you're the only thing he thinks about still.
And that's really the point in the conversation where I think that he wants to make her suffer.
Yeah.
Because that's clear to me at this point in this episode. It's like he feels one way for her, and being a vampire, having no soul, like it probably is torturing him, the fact that he was like that in love and cared that much for her.
Almost exactly the same way Xander reacts in the last episode, where he goes up to somebody else and was like, I want you to make her fall in love with me so I can destroy her.
But in a
really fucked up, like, you know, Silence of the Lambs kind of way.
A 200-year-old vampire with no soul versus a 17-year-old boy.
He's like, oh, but I can draw, so...
Xander can't draw, do you?
Yeah, you can't draw, Xander. Xander can't draw.
Totally off topic. Can Xander do anything truly well at this point in the series?
He's really good with quips. He's really good with alleviating a heavy tone.
Okay. All right. Sure.
Yeah. Oh no. It's a skill. People do it on stage. Cut to Spike and Drusilla. Drusilla brings Spike up a literal puppy. Brings him a puppy to eat.
Was it to eat?
Yeah, of course. She's like, here's a pet? No, she's like, you need to eat. She says, you're weak. You need to eat. Here's a puppy.
Oh, okay. I totally missed that.
It's like a backhanded meal. Like, it's a backhanded slap of an insult as a meal.
Because he can't fend for himself.
Yeah, but it's also saying, like, I brought you the most defenseless animal that I possibly could think of.
Yeah, because you can't.
Because you can't defend yourself against a lion or even a regular dog.
She's going to bring him a lion.
Who knows? Anything. A person, a kid. She brought him, like, the cutest little puppy. Just like, just tons of hair. Just a cute little puppy. Like, the most cuddly little puppy ever.
I would think she would bring him a bigger dog just because he would have more blood.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Or just a sack of blood. I mean, anything.
Yeah.
So Buffy sees... cut to the school again. Buffy is walking towards class or wherever Buffy walks to at school and sees Jenny Calendar. She kind of like jumps in front of her and is like, hey! And Jenny Calendar looks surprised, happily surprised to see her because she's like, oh my god, you're talking to me. And Buffy says like, hey, essentially like paraphrasing, hey, we're good, you should fuck Giles. Like, hey, we're good. Giles has been really upset since you broke up with him. I want him to be happy. You should let him stick his penis. You should let him stick Little Ripper in you.
It's basically the moment saying everything's okay, I'm cool with you, to set up what I'm going to say is the Game of Thrones moment of the episode. It's where everything's okay, the character's happy, everything's going well. And in the Game of Thrones world, if everything's aces for you, you're fucked. You're going to die.
Yeah. So she finishes that conversation, and they cut to Cordy and who else is there? Willow and Buffy all having a conversation and essentially finishing the spell to make Cordy's car safe again, because apparently at one time she invited Angel in there. So they finished that spell, and they're going to do Buffy's house next.
Do they need that spell to like with the car?
I guess for it's kind of funny. So they did it for Cordy, for her to stop bitching, probably just to get her out of their hair, and they had to do it before they did Buffy's house, which is insane to me. So then they find another envelope, however you want to say it, and they open it, and it's Joyce Summers, right? So Buffy is in that room with Cordy and herself, worrying about Cordy's safety, while her mom is actually literally outside of their house, and Angel comes up to her playing the grief-stricken ex-boyfriend.
With the long leather coat. With
a long leather coat that doesn't really fit. It's a little too baggy on the arms. Like, it's just not nice yet. So he's acting like a complete maniac. And telling...
Yeah, like, you know, and Buffy described him as this, like, almost, I wouldn't say pathetic, but, like, super in love with her and won't leave her alone. So Joyce is, like, she views him in that way. But still, Angel is a big guy. And Joyce is being, like, super tough and like, oh, well, I have this bag of groceries. I'm just going to go home. And he's like, no, I can't live without her. She can't live without me. And Joyce has, I'm going to say, like, the balls to even say, like, well, is that a threat?
She reminded me of your mom at that moment.
She should not have said that. That's not
I think your mom would react in the exact same way. Like a guy as big as Jay would say something, she'd be like, bah,
that is not a good idea.
Some people can get away with it.
I'm gonna tell my mom tonight, if you ever think one of my sisters is dating a vampire and he comes over and he says something like this, you do not stand up to him.
So they get up to the house and she drops a bag of groceries. He helps her put all the oranges back in, except he throws one like completely off screen. Like as he's picking him up, he accidentally throws one, and Joyce like looks at it and kind of chuckles, it seems.
I love that scene because it's so manic, and it definitely seems like somebody who is going through a breakup. So maybe that's also what Joyce is seeing. This guy who's like, that's all he can think of, and he's not even thinking about what he's doing.
Angelus is a better actor than Angel. He's better at pretending that he's a good guy than he actually is when he's cast as a good guy. So they get into the house, and Willow just finished the last 2 words or last phrase on this incantation spell to put the whatever onto the house that makes it safe again from vampires, and he can't come in. So, Buffy meets him at the door and goes, nah, you suck. Whatever.
Yeah.
Remember when I kicked you,
motherfucker?
Yeah. Remember when I kicked you in the balls, you piece of shit?
Can't come in, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So as we're doing this, you find out that Jenny has been working all along on a way to return Angel's soul into his body. She's already bought the Orb of Thesla at the shop. She did that earlier, and she is currently at the school messing with stuff. As Drusilla walks into the same shop she bought the Orb of Thesla at, and assumingly kills the shop owner, or just gets information from him. Either way, we don't find out if she actually kills him.
I don't know.
But she definitely finds out that she has the incantation ready. I don't know where she got all this. Maybe it's just Drusilla's dreams. Maybe that's how they know everything. Maybe that's a good way to explain how he knows that she was on a date or whatever.
I was totally okay with that, at least in this episode. Like Drusilla's premonitions and all of a sudden like knowing this sort of stuff.
So as Jenny Calendar's working on her thing, she finds Angel in her classroom. And obviously she starts freaking out because he's probably going to fucking kill her. And she's like, oh, Angel, you're going to be happy to find out? Of course he's not going to be happy to find out that you're going to put your soul back in him. And he's throwing around the Orb of Thesla like it's nothing. And he's like, you know what sucks about these little things? They're so fragile, they break very easily. And he throws it against a wall and it shatters. And my problem with this is that it was glowing beforehand. And they said very specifically that without the incantation spell, it was essentially a paperweight. That's not true. It could also be used as a nightlight.
They didn't say it didn't glow.
Yeah, well, they said it's essentially a paperweight, but it can glow.
You can have a glowing paperweight.
That's not useless. That's dope. That, like a raver would be all over that. I could market that. So after Jenny solves the translation, essentially Angelus sets her free to roam the school just so he can hunt her down.
Yeah,
like
just
a dog.
to chase her.
Just to chase her. He chases her, does this sick fall into a garbage can. Like, you just see like Angel running towards her at full speed, or like, and
yeah,
Angel's,
she pushes like a janitor's cart, and
at the last minute at the stunt double or whatever, and that guy just flips over, just eats shit hard.
Yeah, can I tell you, when I first saw this episode, I thought that was super amusing. That it just seemed
like an episode of Jackass.
Yeah, kind of. And really, well, I didn't think about that at the time because Jackass was around at that time, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed kind of out of place.
Yeah,
like
just really, really out of place.
Unnecessary, but funny.
And from falling down there, he teleports upstairs and grabs her head and just cracks it. ending any chance that Jenny Calendar could return his soul. And before he chased her down, he had broken the computer, which started a fire.
Yeah, so
And
there's a lot to unpack right here.
Yeah.
One, I loved the fucking chase scene. It just seemed like it was like a horror movie. It's back to Buffy's like horror movie roots. And I felt this, I wouldn't say fear, but it's like, oh my God, I hope
he stalked
Jenny
her.
Calendar
It became a stalker movie.
Gets away. And just the lighting and the darkness of everything was super well done. What wasn't well done was it's a Zoolander moment when he destroys the fucking computer. He's like, wait, the files are in the computer? And it starts a little fire. How the fuck does that happen?
Yeah, he destroys a monitor and it's like sparks like crazy, which I might believe that might happen, or at least one flash. But then it starts a small fire. And then he picks out all the printed pages from the dot matrix printer. And if you don't know what a dot matrix printer is, they're fucking rad. It's just like little holes on the side of paper that you can perforate and take off. Yeah. But little dots essentially make a bunch of...
And it is a slow-ass fucking printer.
Well, they're the original printers. They printed out words. Everything was printed in dots before laserjet printers.
Incorrect. The original printer was Moses, who etched everything on the Ten Commandments.
My bad.
So there we go. Let's talk about this scene a little bit more and how fucking brutal.
Yeah, I wrote breaks her neck and then put 3 exclamation points, which means he really did break her neck.
Yeah. It means business.
He doesn't even do it for substance. He doesn't take her blood. He's doing it because he wants to fucking kill her. And he does it so it's so sudden. Like, she's running away. You're like, is she going to get away? And before you can even say, oh, she almost got away, he catches her and breaks her neck. It's like a gunshot.
Yeah, and you made that joke that he teleports, but it happens so suddenly. Where he's there and he does this like weird fucking giggle.
Yeah.
Right before. And I was like, that's weird. The first time I saw it, I hated the scene. And I'm not exactly sure why I did, but seeing it now, I really do love it, and just how like callous he is about everything.
Yeah, I mean, it really exemplifies why Angelus is so fucking evil. Like, he's so different than Angel. He's insanely fucked up. He's the ultimate serial killer. And this episode, like you said, it took you back to like a 1980s slasher movie where you're afraid for somebody. They're being stalked. He's the ultimate serial. He's like Jack the Ripper here.
And I think originally I didn't like it just because it's like, oh, well, he giggles and then does that. He should be tougher. Like, that was like the original, the old me thinking about that, the young me. And now it's like, no, that's super fitting how callous he would be. He would just giggle because she's like, he wants to kill her, and she basically means nothing. It's like, oh, I'm going to kill her because I want her dead. I'm not even going to drain her because she means that little.
She's not even a meal that could sustain me for a day. Like, he's not even going to use her that way.
So how'd you feel about that back then originally versus now?
I remember it being pretty intense back then, but now rewatching it, when something is intense upon rewatching it, I realize that it's done incredibly well. So, like, when I first saw it, I remember being like, oh my God, Jenny Calendar's dead. It was definitely a solidifying moment where I was like, this show is fucking crazy. Anything could happen, which is why we like Game of Thrones, except this show doesn't do that every single episode, which is nice. Because we get characters that make it through the entire series, which is really cool, which is like one of my main gripes with Game of Thrones is like, okay, well, I really liked all the characters, which means they're all going to die. I get that, but this is cooler because it did that and kind of succeeded in doing that and didn't have to do it
so
often.
I'll say this about Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones now exists in a world that any character can die at any point. Mm-hmm. You've accepted that. What makes this so dramatic is that's
we hadn't gotten there.
Yeah, it's not a world where main characters can die at any point, and this main character just died.
Yeah, and from now on, it is a world where any main character could die. So we cut back to Willow and Giles and them not knowing anything about what's going on with Jenny Calendar. Willow gives Giles a book that Jenny Calendar gave him and was like, here, I finished reading this. Give this back to her. And he's like, thank you. I'm going to go right now back to her place and we're going to get our fuck on. Get our fizzy. We're going to get little Ripper inside of a pool.
That's all right.
That's too far? Just kind of off and weird.
It's weird.
It's a little weird. Yeah. I'm sorry. So they cut to Joyce giving Buffy a talk about sex.
Well, I want to talk about this. One of the first things that they mention, they're like, oh, well, Angel's really superstitious, and that's why Willow had to say all of that stuff. Because I was thinking about at the time, what is Joyce doing when Willow's doing this?
Incantation?
Yeah, and what the fuck is she thinking? And instantly Buffy is like, oh no, it's because he's super superstitious, so if we say all this weird shit, he won't come in and fucking murder/rape us.
Jesus. I didn't even catch that. I was like, really superstitious? And I was like, man, Joyce is being a bitch.
Well, and that makes sense because Buffy's trying to explain that, but that's really for the audience.
Yeah.
But Joyce could probably care less about what Buffy's friends are saying and more concerned about, like,
the fact that Angel told her that they had sex when they were outside and she dropped the oranges.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Joyce finds out that her daughter is sexually active and goes nuclear, man. She says all the worst stuff. Like, just like, what were you thinking? And blah, 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 blah. Not knowing that Buffy's choice to have sex with Angel has turned him evil and he's now wreaking havoc upon her life.
Yeah, well, doesn't that happen most of the time?
Yeah, right?
Girls have sex with guys and they become evil and they just fucking wreak havoc.
The girls do. The girls have sex with guys and then the girls turn evil and they wreak havoc.
Somebody turns
Somebody
evil.
has sex with guys.
The weird thing is...
Just joking. All people shouldn't have sex because they turn evil afterward.
Yeah. Yeah. The weird thing about all this is Joyce should have seen this coming.
Yes.
And really, is she going to let this older dude... She even makes this like, well, he's so much older than you, and Buffy's like...
You don't even know.
Yeah, I love that. Just like the look on her face. She's like, I know. She's like, oh my God, you have no fucking idea how old he is. But... She says that trying to make Buffy feel better. Essentially, you were saying slut-shaming her.
Yeah.
But this is Joyce's fault. She could have been around more often. If she just thinks that it's this older college dude who's tutoring her, why wasn't she there? Why didn't she say, hey, don't tutor my daughter since you're older upstairs. Tutor her downstairs. Like,
yeah, don't
she
tutor
just let her
in the
do
room.
Whatever. And she
the
already
door closed.
Yeah, she already thought of Buffy as somebody who misbehaves and causes a lot of trouble. Why would you just let her alone in a room with like basically an adult male?
Even when she was at the mall, she's like, "What? Did you get distracted by some dude or some guy, some hot guy walk by, and you couldn't get my laundry to the place in time?"
I don't understand what Joyce is thinking, and I don't understand why she's being so cruel to Buffy.
I think it's because Joss Whedon doesn't really know how mothers should talk to their daughters.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. I don't like that answer, though.
I don't either, because by the end of this series, I'd like to think of Joyce as a good mom, and to be honest, once we get out season 2, I feel like she does become a good mom. But in season 2 and 1, I feel like they're still trying to find her, and they switch back and forth between her being over commanding to Buffy and just kind of, not really smart, just not really a part of Buffy's life.
And she makes a point of saying like, well, you push me away, you keep me out of your life, and I can understand that. But I think that's the writers trying to put that in there to make excuses for why Joyce is doing... why she's made some of the choices she has made.
Yeah. So, cut to Giles, happy as a little boy about to give his first blowjob.
Oh, poor Giles.
Poor Giles. Gets to the door. There's a rose on the door. He opens the door. There's candles going up into the room. And he's just like, oh, I'm going to get some good lickings. Good looking chicken.
That's
Yeah.
gross.
Good chicken looking.
I'm sure he has like a half chub. He knows what's going to go on.
He's fully erect.
Yeah.
Like, you could see it. Yeah. Like his trousers is just
I think I missed the scene
pole.
where they panned down to check out the
Well, you didn't see that?
tent.
You didn't
No.
see that tight, like, close-in shot of his dick?
No, I probably missed that.
Yeah, you missed it.
But, oh, fuck. Poor Giles. And the audience is like, poor Giles. Because everybody but him knows what's going to happen.
I don't understand how Angel knew. I'm just going to chalk this to Drusilla's premonitions because I don't want to have a 20-minute conversation about how he knew that they were going on a date or how he knew that they were going to have sex that night. Or that
it could just be that, like, oh, they're together. Where's the most fucked up place I can put her body?
Well, yes, but then with the candles, lighting all the candles. Jeffrey, there was like lighting 20 candles involved in this. And like, I mean, there's a lot of setup here.
Vampires don't like fire. What the fuck?
Yeah, like if he was just setting it up for them to find her, he'd be like, well, anybody might find her. Buffy might find her. Willow might find her.
But not in Giles's apartment. He knows.
Oh, yeah. Is she supposed to be at Giles's? I thought he went to her house.
No, that's Giles's.
Oh, that's way fucked up.
Yeah,
Put her at Giles's. Okay, then that I can get with.
They're at Giles, but my big concern is, has he ever been invited to Giles's house? I don't remember that.
I don't remember that either.
Then how did he get in?
That's true. Maybe he paid somebody else.
Pay somebody to do what? To take the body up?
Take the body up there and put all the candles down. Once again, light 20 candles.
It definitely wasn't Spike because there was no wheelchair access.
So, and Spike is also a vampire, so same problem. So, either way.
I realize that, but that's not as funny.
Giles gets into his room. Giles gets to his room, and there's a dead Jenny calendar on his bed. And his boner is now dead, too.
Dude, we're joking a lot about that, but I felt fucking terrible. That's like a super emotional scene that I was like, oh my God. I
completely agree. I'm not happy that it happened, but levity is how I deal with anything that's sad. So
I honestly feel worse that when I saw Jenny Calendar die, I was like, oh, that sucks. But having Giles see that, I'm like, oh, fuck. Like it. Yeah,
it's a red wedding type of scene. Like it's definitely, like you said, Joey, our friend and a person that's been on this podcast, said that solidified him into the series. Like that moment, he was like, "All right, I'm fully invested now."
It's like I'm in.
Yeah, it puts everything on its head. It's so out of left field. It makes you feel sad. Once again, Giles has been on a mission to get laid since this fucking show started, and he just fell right short of the fucking goal line. It's like hand on it.
Out of left field for a purpose, though, not just randomly.
No, actually done incredibly well. So Giles calls Ralph Garman, and Ralph Garman shows up dressed like a cop and is like, "You got to come with us."
Giles, of course, is like, no, fuck no. I'm going to make a phone call right now. And Ralph Garman is cool with it.
Yeah, okay, Ralph Garman's like, hey, man, I'm not actually a cop. I'm Ralph Garman from Hollywood Babylon.
Yeah, in Sunnydale, there's more cops now, which was good, a problem we've had. But they're still pretty lax depending on who you are. Giles can ask to make a phone call and totally do that even though he has a dead body in his room and probably being arrested.
And after he gets let go, he just packs a fucking bag full of weapons. Like, that is not a way to look after you've had a dead body found in your apartment.
Which is fucking crazy, because how much shit did Buffy get for Ted, for the Ted episode?
Yeah.
And Giles, they're like, well, you can get the fuck out of here. You're good. You're golden.
You're fine. Don't worry about it. You know what you should do? Go home and, like, pack a small suitcase full of knives. You should go do that right now. So he goes home and packs a small suitcase full of knives.
You know what? There totally should be like a night of with Giles with that right there. I'd watch that. I'd watch the shit out of that.
I'd watch that all over. And Ralph Garman would have to be like the main investigator. Like John, he's no longer a cop. He's now John Turturro. That's Ralph Garman.
Oh, the lawyer.
The lawyer, yeah, with the feet.
Anything you want to do in this,
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch the shit out of it.
Anyway,
Giles has knives.
So Giles goes super Rambo, of course, with the knives and everything like that. We cut to the Scoobies, and everybody's crying except for Xander, who goes full on Dick Xander. He does this every once in a while. He's just like, fucking, you know what? Testosterone. I'm so mad right now.
He's like, I was on the fuck angel train before all you motherfuckers.
Yeah, and then, like, not the same kind of fuck angel train that Buffy was on, but, like, on a different fuck angel train.
Different.
Like fuck you, Angel, not like I want to fuck you, Angel. But yeah, so he points out that he's cool with Giles going all Rambo and going after Angel or Angelus,
which is fucked up because it's pretty selfish because he wants Angel to die and everybody else is like, holy shit, Giles is going to get his ass beat.
Yeah,
he's
like
gonna die.
He doesn't see the overall picture that if Giles goes after Angel, Giles will die.
And I don't know if this is the next scene right after that where
Giles comes out fucking badass. You see like flying fire arrows, and he comes out with a fiery bat. A bat on fire, dude.
How did that happen?
That was just badass. I imagine he soaked the bat in gasoline.
And then he just kind of like fire right here and just boom, motherfucker.
Just like fire, and comes out and just hits Angel like all over. I would say he got like a good beating on Angel before Angel like came to.
With that scene is fucking awesome too.
Yeah.
Giles is fucking badass. Ripper's a motherfucker.
In a suit? What? fucking packs a bag, but can't change his fucking pants. Like, come on, dude. Like, a tweed suit?
He's British.
What a badass.
You gotta look classy.
It's like the fucking Kingsman back in the day.
The crazy thing to me is he could have, like, thought of any other weapon to fuck up Angel with. But he really wanted to make him suffer, so it's like, all right, a bat on fire. I'm gonna fuck you up. I don't want to kill you. I want to fuck you up.
I thought it was more of a, like, metaphorical fuck you to vampires.
Is it? How so?
Like vampire bat. It's a bat on fire. He beats him with a flaming bat.
That it could be that too. That is so cheesy. That's hilarious.
So yeah, beats him with the bat. Angel catches the bat on the last one, and he's like, "What time is it?" And then he goes,
"Clobber in time."
No, doesn't he say?
That's the thing.
He says, "My turn," and and then Buffy comes in and goes like, "No, it's my turn," and then she kicks him in the face. And this is the best scene ever. You see Drusilla grab Spike and wheel him out of the room. Just like right after that, like,
wheel him.
Angel shows. Buffy shows up, kicks Angel in the face, and the whole place is on fire.
So I'm gonna pull back the curtains of our podcast a little bit. You were writing notes furiously. I was like, did you fucking see Drusilla wheel away Spike?
And I stopped it, rewound it, just so I could watch Spike and Drusilla, and then I stopped it again and rewound it again because it was totally worth it.
That was because I mean that's kind of their MO. It's like, oh shit, let's get the fuck out of here.
Drusilla's urgency and Spike's helplessness is just comical at this point. So Buffy beats the shit out of Angel again, doesn't kill him again. Giles doesn't get his revenge.
How does Angel disappear again? What does he do? How does he?
I don't. The next note I have is why the fuck is Willow the new sub? I don't know. I think he just escapes. She like kicks him a bunch, and that was it.
Yeah, they're fighting. They're on this little like catwalk.
Yeah,
right.
And like he just kind of books it.
Shit.
Right? He books it, and then she's like, and then they pick up Giles and get the fuck out of there.
Damn.
Just essentially like another wasted opportunity to kill Angel.
Well. They can't really kill him here because
he's got a spin-off show coming.
Well, yeah, not yet. Maybe I don't know when that happened. But either way, they're waiting to the end of the season. But they need to find an excuse for him to leave, and there's never really an excuse for him to fucking bail.
Yeah, to Christian Bale. Willow is now the new substitute teacher of Jenny's class, and that's the scene we leave on is her taking over her class and the floppy disk where Jenny saved the translations to the gypsy curse that gave Angel his soul falling into the crevice between the printer stand and her desk, and Willow teaching the class.
Yeah.
Sad emoji.
Yeah, so man, I'm going to say this. After watching the episode and going over it, I like it, but I like it because of several scenes. And the death scene with Jenny Calendar is really...
Well done.
Yeah, that's it. And the scene with Giles finding her body and after that. But I have a lot of fucking issues with this episode. Angel disappearing... Drusilla and Spike just disappearing.
Why the fuck does Angel know about all this stuff that's happening? It's like they have a fucking Google card spying on everybody.
Joyce Summers like slut shaming Buffy.
Yeah,
like that's you can't. And I know it's for the sake of drama, but what the fuck, man?
She's like, Buffy, you had sex at 16, which is the average age that all people have sex at. Oh my god, you piece of shit! I don't know if that's true or not. 16.
Yeah, so there was so much fucked up things that happened. I would just call them like, I don't know, would you say mistakes or...
I don't know if they're mistakes. I think it's, number one, we have to realize that like, we talk about this show in leisure because we don't have a deadline. We don't have to put it all on film. We don't have to like do everything. So when we nitpick the stuff that is going on here, I completely understand that there was probably negating circumstances that they couldn't actually make it perfect. So I still love it, you know, it's still great. But now in retrospect, it's fun to nitpick, and that's what our whole podcast is based off. So that's what we do. So don't think of this as saying like we don't like this show. Think of this as us saying like, let's pick at it because we like it so much that I want to destroy it the way that a person that loved Mark Twain reads his books 20,000 times.
Clearly, we love this show. We decided to do a podcast and watch every single episode. And it wasn't to make you or I suffer.
Yeah, but that being said, there are gaping plot holes sometimes.
And sometimes is the key word.
Yeah,
because some
especially in this episode, because this episode is like a good episode with gaping plot holes in it.
Yeah, some episodes tie him up amazingly. Mm-hmm. Like there's so many things. Like I'm torn with this episode now because it is good for several reasons. One, the chase scene with Jenny Calendar.
Yeah,
her death I thought was awesome. The end scene with
you callous bitch. Sorry, just
Giles seeing Jenny Calendar, him going all fucking like I don't even know what you would call it, fucking rogue warrior, just beating
I went Rambo,
the shit
you
out
went
of,
Road Warrior.
Yeah,
same character, different movies.
Just fucking Angel up just to make him suffer. So those were the elements I loved. The elements I didn't really was Angel knowing basically everything.
Yeah, he was omnipotent in this episode. It was really annoying.
Him being able to go wherever and them not really telling us, or us not really seeing that, oh yeah, he's been invited to Giles' house, which I'm going to say this, I don't remember that ever fucking happening.
I don't either. Maybe we're not the Buffy scholars we think we are, but yeah, I don't remember that either. And it just, there's certain things like that that make it very hard. Like, I'm not even sure. He's invited to Willow's. I remember that, right? Yeah, because he needs to go talk to her with Buffy. Maybe he should have foreseen this. Even when he was invited to places, to be like, don't invite me. I might turn evil. But I guess it hadn't happened in so long.
And also, he probably didn't realize that there was this curse on him.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think
But I don't
he
know.
knew
I mean,
that.
there's fucking books written about it. I think that after a while, he'd be like, what, you wrote a book about me? What's it about? Oh, shit, a gypsy curse? Is that why I feel so fucking horrible about all this shit I did?
I think it wasn't until after this, like starting with the Angel series, that he becomes more scholarly or wants to know more about prophecy and the curse and this and that. Before then, it's just like, oh, I'm just going to make myself suffer because
I don't know about that. No, I don't agree with you on that one. I think that one, I think he knew about his curse by now.
Really?
Yeah, I really do. I just think it was handled poorly, but I think that, like, as far as the timeline goes, it goes way better if he already knows about the curse.
I just don't see any evidence.
Of course you don't. Yeah, because there isn't any. I'm just saying it works better, so I'd rather believe that.
Okay, you'd rather believe that
It's like Christianity.
based on no evidence, just like Christianity. Okay. I got that. I was going to say something else about that, but I don't know.
Death count?
Sure. The death count is 2.
All right.
I was going to look at my book. I don't even need to fucking look at my book right now.
You know this.
Yeah. There was the...
Both Angel.
Yeah, both Angel. Movie Theater Girl. Mm-hmm. Or Alley Movie Theater Girl, however you want to call it. And Jenny Calendar. Both
That's
by
it.
Angel.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, fucking shit up.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to say about this episode?
No, I think we talked about it. We're both kind of torn.
Yeah, a little bit torn.
Good episode in a way, but also plot holes.
Yeah.
What's happening next?
The next episode is called... I have no fucking idea. The next episode is Killed by Death.
Okay.
Do you remember that episode?
Just based alone on title, no.
No. What about, when Buffy got sick one time and went to the hospital?
Oh, okay. She's sick. Is there another little kid?
There's another little kid who's been in a coma.
Yeah, it's almost like another, was it like Billy episode? Or what was the first one from Nightmares? It's similar to that, but this monster is killing kids in comas, right? No?
No, I think I'm thinking
In
about the
dreams?
other one. I thought it was the other one. I don't know what this is about. She goes to the hospital with a flu, but I don't know why.
Because she has the flu.
Yeah, but I don't know what the payoff is. I don't remember the next episode at all. I know it's a Monster of the Week episode, though. Right?
I feel like it's kind of like the Nightmares Billy episode, but we'll see.
I feel like that too, but I don't really know. Huh. I guess we'll see next week, guys. Hey, you want to get under the covers? Just to stay warm?
Always.
The next episode is called... I have no fucking idea.